It's been more than 12 hours and a man is still holding a 16-year-old hostage inside of a house in Stockbridge. Good evening to you, everybody. I'm Kerry Charles. Tom has the night off.
And I'm Marissa Mitchell. 2 Henry County police officers were shot while responding to that home. News Edge reporter Alexa Liacco is live in Henry County tonight with the latest on this developing story.
And Alexa, we understand people are now being allowed back into their homes.
Yeah, they are being allowed back into their homes. You can see some cars going back in there right now. A lot of people really relieved after a really tense and chaotic day. Many trapped outside on the sidewalk for hours. But I do want to let you know we did just receive an update from Henry County Police on the barricade and standoff situation going on right now. We earlier reported that there were several loud noises. It sounded like flashbangs and possible gunfire. Well, Henry County Police have now confirmed that they did try to enter the house again. They did not know how the 16-year-old was doing. That the subject was not communicating with them anymore. So they did decide to deploy some gas into the residence. Those were those really loud bangs we heard. And they did fire several rounds into the residence. And that man inside that's been holding that teenager hostage all day returned fire at the SWAT officers, at the police officers. Luckily, no officers were injured, but that suspect still inside the home, and no word on how that 16-year-old and a possible third person inside the home is doing. But here's a look at how this standoff has played out over the last several hours.
It's very dangerous.
A tense standoff between police and an armed gunman holding a 16-year-old hostage has been going on for nearly 12 hours in a Henry County neighborhood.
When I opened it up, I was shocked. I couldn't believe what was going on.
Neighbor Lena Holt says she couldn't believe what her doorbell camera was showing, a street filled with police officers.
But I just see a lot of cop cars. I see cops walking to and fro and vans, and this is actually my driveway.
Henry County Police got a 911 call from a woman around 11 a.m. Thursday morning. She was visiting family members inside the home and was distraught over what police are calling unknown trouble. Police, fire, and EMS then responded to the house.
Officers made contact with the female complainant. They tried to make entrance into the home and gunfire erupted. The officers did not exchange fire. However, 2 officers were struck. And they were transported to local hospital, Grady Memorial Hospital.
The shooter refused to come out and has been holding a 16-year-old hostage inside the home for hours.
Our street is so super quiet. So for this to be going on, it's amazing.
We have a barricaded SWAT situation. They are in communication with him. We have multiple agencies here that are assisting us. We're communicating with the individual. We're hoping he was going to release the 16-year-old. He said he would, and we're just standing by waiting.
Fox 5 spoke with family members of the teen trapped inside the home. They say they've been in contact with the man holding the teen hostage.
He told the police to stand off.
We are fearful. We don't know what's going on. We just want somebody to communicate with us. That's the only thing that we want.
Henry County Police say they are not going to rush anything in hopes of getting that teen out alive.
You've got a potential armed suspect. He's fired at 2 officers. We can't get very close to the house. We're just trying to wait out as much as we can.
Now, as you can see, traffic really backed up. Even though this has only been open for just a few moments, police are letting us know, though, that only residents on Tate will be allowed back to their homes. The rest of the subdivision is not completely open. Police say this is still a very fluid situation that could change at any moment, so they still want to be very careful and make sure that everyone is safe in hopes that they can get that 16-year-old out alive. Carrie, Marissa.
Still very active there, thanks. Now, the 2 wounded officers were rushed to the hospital earlier this evening. News Edge reporter George Franco continues our team coverage on this developing story.
He's live outside of Grady Memorial Hospital tonight. George, do you know how those officers are doing?
Well, Carrie and Marissa, some of the family members of these officers who didn't want to go on camera but were at the bedside of the officers told me that they are doing, quote, okay. And we have also been told that the life of one of the officers was likely saved because he was wearing a police vest.
One of the Henry County police officers who was shot was airlifted from the crime scene and brought to Grady Hospital by helicopter. He and the other injured officer were both part of the SWAT response in the Eagle Ridge neighborhood.
One officer, I was told, struck in the hand, and the other officer was struck in the upper torso area and in the hip area.
The other injured officer came to Grady in this ambulance, and as the two officers were being transported to the hospital, family members were getting the news no loved one wants to hear, that a police officer has been injured in the line of duty.
One of them was our son-in-law.
His family was escorted from their home to the hospital by Clayton County Police after they learned their son-in-law was one of two Henry County police officers who had been shot. They say he's no stranger to danger.
Army veteran.
Army veteran?
2 tours in Iraq, Afghanistan, and he's been on the force for a while.
Investigators tell us it appears one of the officers' bullet-resistant vests saved his life.
Very likely. I know it was upper torso area, and it most likely did strike the vest. I just can't confirm it.
What he did confirm is that the officer suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Other family members at Grady declined interviews, but these bystanders reiterated part of what they told me.
It just goes back to, like I said, we just have to learn to respect our law enforcement and know that they are out here to protect us.
And we're told that these two male police officers are both in their 30s and both have been on the force for about 7 years. Their names still have not been released. At Grady Hospital tonight, I'm George Franco, Fox 5 News.
All right, George, and it's a story we'll continue to follow both on air and online at fox5atlanta.com.